honors. And from the whole region, only 11 units get selected for that. And they were one of the 11 units regionally selected for that honor. So I'm going to invite Captain Hooker up to speak to us a little bit. I know he's just as proud as the rest of us, if not more so, of his distinguished unit, and then we're going to get to meet some of them. So, Captain Hooker.
Well, good evening, Madam President, Madam Superintendent, ladies and gentlemen, and cadets of North Rockland. I am grateful to the Board of Education for taking the time tonight to honor our cadets. They're the finest young people that I know. I see their greatness every week, except in the summer. And I'm pleased that they're being recognized outside of the classroom. I'm also pleased that we got several dozen of you on a Tuesday night in August to come out to the board meeting. That's wonderful. Some of our cadets are already on their way to college, and some of our recent graduates have joined the service and they're already at boot camp. But as the superintendent mentioned, we're a distinguished unit with honors, and in addition, our cadets are constantly striving to improve themselves and seeking out opportunities for personal development. This summer, we sent 3 cadets to Leadership Academy in Newport, Rhode Island, 5 cadets to American Legion Boys State, 5 cadets to the Rotary Youth Leadership Academy, and 1 right now is on the Coast Guard Covered Eagle sailing the Atlantic. And in addition, for the first time, we had 2 cadets go to Empire Girls State and 1 to the FBI Teen Academy in New York City. And this year, our cadets provided thousands of hours of community and school service. And this year, the unit further distinguished itself by winning the Washingtonville Drill Meet, hosting the Area 4 Drill Championship, starting an underwater robotics program, conducting a district-wide environmental cleanup day, conducting dozens of color guards, and even assisting in key roles at the high school's graduation ceremony. And since the cadets have achieved this remarkable distinction, I would like to read the citation that the Navy sent us. The Commander, Naval Service Training Command takes pleasure in presenting the Distinguished Unit Award to North Rockland High School for outstanding performance during school year 2016-2017. In recognition of the exceptional professional ability, initiative, and dedication demonstrated by its naval science instructors, the outstanding support provided by the school administration, the excellent atmosphere prevalent throughout the school in support of the Navy JROTC program, the exemplary appearance, military bearing, and courtesies exhibited by its cadets, the active participation of the unit in support of school, community, and other extracurricular activities and services, and the superb discipline demonstrated by the cadets during drill meets and other public appearances. North Rockland High School JROTC unit has been selected as a distinguished unit with academic honors. J.D. Smith, PhD, Program Director. Senior Chief Kavanaugh and I are very grateful to the board and to the administration for the steadfast support, to the community for the encouragement, to the parents for their service as chaperones, and most of all to you cadets, because you are different, and you are better, you do magnificent things, and you strive each day to develop yourselves as useful and productive citizens. I admire you for it, and it's an honor to serve with you. Since we have 120 certificates and only about 24 of you, I think what I'd like to do is have you each come up and give a handshake from the board president and the superintendent, and then I'll sort out the certificates when we get back. Sounds good. Come on up, please.
That's awesome. Pull out their names. Yeah, can you call their names as they?
I remember both.
Jim Soto, Will Ellis,
help me out.
yes, Victor Estrella, sorry, Yuri Soto, Andrew Clark, I knew that. Max Gonzalez, Brandon Salvador, Vincent Bifaro, Joe LaBarbara.
Okay. Line behind the board.
Natalie Knott, our new commander. Kaylee Casey.
Hey, everybody line up right behind the board here, please. Kevin Franco. Andres Almonte. Cameron Pellegrini. White Canary. Steve Santana. Malcolm Slade. Recent graduate Brandon Messias. Nick Dew. And our outgoing and victorious company commander, William Babcock.
No, just video.
Before everybody disbands, I guess I'd like to I want to congratulate you all on your program, but I also saw what you're wearing in the back of your shirts. And I would like to encourage all of you not to be understood. If there are any people that still exist in Vietnam and still prisoners, exceedingly unlikely, but I understand that. But saying I still care about that war, about that process, I'd like you to study that war, because for many Americans, and not hopefully we never have this country repeat something like that. It was basically a genocidal, horrible war that ruined people's lives. More Americans died in that war than any other war, including the Second World War, and it distorted the lives of thousands and thousands of people that I personally know, including my wife. And I've been to Vietnam, but not as a soldier. So I'm just simply saying, take a look, read your history, understand from your history, and hopefully as soldiers, if that is what you move forward to be, you'll serve this country, but you'll understand that there are many decisions this country made which were wrong, and that is one of them. Thank you.
Got it? Yeah. All right, thank you. Thank you. Oh, gosh. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming out. That was very, very nice to see. Thank you.
Oh, good luck to you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
It's not, so I'll read this one. Okay. So I do have one item under correspondence. The letter says, hello, my name is Evan Muskoff. I received the Charles Felfogel Memorial Award. I wanted to say thank you very much for your generous scholarship. I will use it to pay for tuition at RIT this fall. I plan on majoring in mechanical engineering with a focus on aerospace. I'm very interested in reusable rocketry, and I hope to get a job in this field when I graduate. Thanks again, Evan. Very nice. Okay. So, the discussion items, Mr. King's daughter's public library loan request.
Yes, thank you, Mary. Haverstraw King's Daughter Library, every year, because the taxes come in late September through October, they do not get any money prior to that. So since they have to wait, they typically come to us on an annual basis, especially for the past 2 years, and asked us to loan them money until November 15th. So what we have here is the first for the board to see, to make sure that they're okay with that, so that they're going to be borrowing $900,000 from September 1st through November 15th. It's been done before, and that is one of the agenda items that the board will be voting on in 2 weeks in August, on August 22nd.
Okay, and the budget transfer.
budget transfers. This is a typical situation that happens at the end of every school year through June 30th. We now get ready for our external auditor to come in and look at our books and do what needs to be done. So basically, these are just doing reconciling budget transfers between different function areas of our budget to reconcile them. This also is on tonight's board agenda for the board to see, and will be an action item at the next board meeting on August 27th.
August 15th. Is that committee closed in 27th? Thank you. Okay.
The next one is something that the state really enacted late in June. And school boards, as you know, we have our policy through New York State school boards, but school boards just released their recommended policy on this 2 weeks ago. And it's basically a new policy on students charging lunches and their ability to do so, and also the district's ability to try to recoup that liability from parents. So it's a brand new policy that NISBA is recommending, and actually the state is requiring. And it's out of our usual policy review, because you know that we usually put our subcommittee together, we review this, and then get back for a first and second reading. But because this is such emergency in nature and there's really very little to decide on, the only thing we could really decide on is what amount. We would notify parents with a formal notification, and that's with their account reaching zero. You could have put a dollar value there, and the number of charges that you would allow a child to have, and it goes from 0 to whatever number. We decided on 5 because that gives a full week for the school to be able to communicate with the parent and for the parent to be able to get back. It also provides the ability to deny a student a lunch if they have charged already 5. We chose not to do that. For now, we could always revise. And it also states that the district has a right to try to recoup again any liability in lunch charges from parents, including reporting to social services on a neglect basis if the parent is not eligible for free and reduced lunch and still refuses to make good on their liability on charges or on replenishing their account. So it's there for the first reading. We would like to have it in place, obviously, and the state is recommending that it be in place by September. So we could always revisit the policy, see how it goes, and make any amendments to it that we would see fit as we work with it. But it gives us, you know, something to work from, where right now there's no existing, and I guess there's been a lot lately in the news about liabilities that districts have inherited in terms of exorbitant charges on lunches that haven't been paid by parents. And so there was a need to put a policy in place in order to cover the district's liabilities on this.
Can I just, also, one thing is, we're also introducing our automated system.
Yes.
For school, I believe it's called School Bucks. Anyway, it's where the My School Bucks, and parents will be able to now replenish their child's bank account, and say their school account for school lunches. It's only going to cost $1.95 if you have 4 children and you want to put $120 in each account. That's all it's going to cost you, so it's a minimal cost, and you can do it by computer. We really started this in May. We did a trial, and it worked out very well, so we're looking forward to seeing it be working, start working right away in September. So that's also in this policy.
I just have one question, and I want to just be sure that we're still carrying through the policy of feeding a child something if their account is at 0 and the parent hasn't paid. I thought that we did peanut butter and jelly or something like that, so that the child has something to eat and not no lunch, forfeits lunch, because mom or dad hasn't paid the account.
Actually, Debbie, what this does is that it gives the child the regular lunch. It doesn't even give them a substitute lunch. It gives them the regular lunch, even if they've exhausted their charges. Well, they will continue. Yeah, there's a provision there that said that you couldn't stop it there. We eliminated that provision. So the child will continue to get a lunch, but at that point, we would be taking the more severe measures in terms of dealing with the parent.
And the child isn't able to order an extra snack item, or like, I guess they can do Snapple or things like that. It would just be your standard lunch with
Okay, that's correct.
Yes, Mrs. Lewis. I know this, Mrs. Eckert said this has to be in place, or we'd like this, they would like it in place by September. Is, the 22nd a voting meeting, or should we move to waive the readings and pass it tonight if there are no other questions?
It will be a voting meeting.
There'll be a special meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Questions?
Yes.
Mrs. Ecker, Mr. Sano, I wonder if you could answer the question. Do we have much of a problem in our district with people not paying?
We've had some isolated cases, very few. I
But it's not
have to say it's
a
not the norm.
It's not the norm?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Moving forward. Establishment of tax rates.
Yes, tax rates. This is rather early this year. We do have all the different assessments from the different towns. Everything is in. The only thing that we have right now are tentative equalization rates. However, we believe that they're going to be final so that we can get a jump start. We would like to have the board accept the tax rates tonight. We are very happy to tell you, because of favorable equalization rates for this year, and mainly the gas line that has been put through the towns of Stony Point and Haverstraw, that our tax rates are negative this year. Haverstraw, as far as residents, is looking at an average of 1.85% decrease, and Stony Point 3% decrease. So this is the second year in a row that basically our tax rates have been in the negative, and we're very happy about that. And they're all ready for the school board to vote on, so that we can process the bills and send out on a timely basis. If in fact the equalization rates do come in different than what we think they will, if they come in differently, then we would have to redo the taxes, and we would have it at the August 22nd meeting, which would be okay also, but we do not believe we will need to do that.
I just have a quick, Mr. Sano, just for clarification, for the public, the 3% decrease, for example, in Stony Point does not necessarily mean your school taxes are going to be down 3%. That all depends on the equalization rate and other factors. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Any old business? Public comments or questions? If anybody would like to address the board, please come forward and sign. Seeing nobody coming forward, we'll move on to finance. So, okay, Mrs. Gaddy, second, Mr. Masiello, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Retirement, instructional, Mr. Masiello, would you please read?
Yes. Maria Luisa Mastero, whereas Miss Maria Luisa Mastero has served the North Rockland Central School District with dedication for a total of 32 years, and whereas she has submitted a resignation for retirement purposes, therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, hereby accepts with deep regret the resignation of Maria Luisa Mastero, special education teacher, effective July 1st, 31st, 2017. And be it further resolved that the Board of Education wishes Ms. Mosterio and her family much happiness in the future.
Second by the whole board. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0. See you here, but we wish Maria Luisa so much health and happiness in her retirement. Mr. Kraus, would you read?
Whereas Ms. Lois Engel has served the North Rockland Central School District with dedication for a total of 19 years, and where she has submitted her resignation for retirement purposes, therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, hereby accepts with deep regret the resignation of Lois Engel, food service retirement, cashier, effective July 21st, 2017, and be it further resolved that the Board of Education wishes Ms. Engel and her family much happiness in the future.
Second by the whole board. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Mrs. Zuberby, could you please, we'd like to wish Miss Engel much health and happiness in her retirement.
Diane Lambert. Whereas Ms. Diane Lambert has served the North Rockland Central School District with dedication for a total of 18 years, and whereas she has submitted her resignation for retirement purposes, therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, hereby accepts with deep regret the resignation of Diane Lambert, 12-month clerk typist, effective September 30th, 2017. And be it further resolved that the Board of Education wishes Ms. Lambert and her family much happiness in the future.
Second by the whole board.
Yes.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0. We wish Ms. Lambert much health and happiness in her retirement. Next is the consent agenda. Use of the consent agenda permits the Board of Education to make more effective use of time by adopting a single motion to cover those relatively routine matters which are included. Any member of the board who wishes to discuss individually a particular piece of business on the consent agenda may so indicate, and that item will be transferred to the regular agenda for consideration and a separate vote, thus preserving the right of all board members to be heard on any issue. We have a motion. Mr. Fernandez, second. Mr. Masiello, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0. If anybody has been appointed this evening on the agenda, if you could please stand up and introduce yourself and tell us where you'll be this coming year.
Hi, my name is Maria Luisa, and I'm
Oh, well, yeah.
Hi, I'm Marianne Dazzle. I will be working at Rockland High School in the attendance office.
My name is Pedro Noah. I'm here to come to the meeting. Glad to see everyone. And there's a lot of us that take time to know how to make money position. Thank you.
Welcome to the North Rockland family, and enjoy the rest of your summer, and we'll see you in, I guess, the couple of weeks. Okay, so this time I'll take a motion. We'll be going into executive session to discuss some legal matters. We will not be returning for any further action. I have a motion, Mr. Masiello, second by Mr. Kraus. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Enjoy the rest of your summer. I didn't know. Oh, the retreat, 21st. 21st. You almost hung out.